What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to The Drop. This is what you need to know for June 10th, 2020. We have a bunch of stuff to tell you about, so let's get into it. Number one, Broke Down Podcast, Working Man's 50th, Side A. So this week, Jonathan releases the first part of his two-part celebration of the 50th anniversary of Working Man's Dead. He brings on author Buzz Poole to help break down the record, just as Buzz did in his recent book that's part of the Bloomsbury's 33 1/3 series. They break down the songs on side one and wrap up the episode with a mix of live versions of those songs. So I think we could all use some Grateful Dead right now, so hope you all check that out and hope you enjoy it. Number two, new episode of Beyond the Pond, titled Black Lives Matter. I'm just going to read a statement that Brian and Dave put in the episode notes for the episode this week. They said, with everything happening in America in the wake of the murder of George Floyd, we felt it necessary to step back and discuss our thoughts as well as how we're communicating racism and the constant pursuit of equality in our country to our kids. We also felt it important to acknowledge that we haven't done enough as podcasters to highlight the music of Black artists, especially those who are up and coming, and we commit to do better. We've also included information about a few organizations we've donated to that we'd encourage you to as well. Finally, we compiled a playlist of some of the Black artists who have paved the way for the music we love, as well as those making music today that are blowing our minds. So it's a cool episode from Brian and Dave. Thanks, guys, for doing that. Hope you enjoy it. All right, number three, a new episode of Helping Friendly Podcast, Perspective from a Fish Fan of Color. So this episode is a rebroadcast of a conversation we brought to you all in 2017 with Fish fans Shania Robinson and Adam Leaz, who Adam wrote a blog post about the whiteness of the fish scene for Headcount that made quite a splash, and then he went on to later start Fans for Racial Equity. So we talk about Adam and Shania's fish journey, and particularly about Shania's experiences at fish shows being a fish fan of color. Really interesting, learned a lot from that and wanted to bring that back to you. So we hope you enjoy it. And of course, there's a bunch of fish music in that one as well. All right, number four, I want to give another plug to Eric Krasno as the guest on the first episode of Past, Present, Future Live, our newest Osiris podcast. It was just released yesterday. It seems like people are liking it. We hope you got to listen to the podcast and check out the video of Eric performing the songs he played live, and to check out the Spotify playlist of songs discussed in the episode. So I'm going to put links to all those things in the show notes if you want to check those out. And there will be a new episode next week. All right, finally, number five, a stream to tell you about 10 p.m. Eastern, Circles Around the Sun rebroadcast set. I think I need some more live music right now, so I'm excited to check this out. This is a show from March 5th in Washington, D.C. This is part of the Live from Out There series. Scott Metzger with Circles Around the Sun. So awesome. I love them. Here's my story about this show. This was actually the last live show that I would have seen before quarantine started. I went down there, I interviewed Adam McDougall of the band, I hung out, and started talking to my wife on the phone and realized that we were actively in the process of moving out of our house to start the process of moving from DC to Philadelphia. So I left before the show, and I'm very sad about it still. And Matt, my friend and colleague, he went and loved it. And of course I missed a lot. I listened to it after and I was still sad. But I'm excited to watch this tomorrow night and just to check out some live music. And I think Metzger with them is great. So lastly, I just want to say again that Osiris is supporting some organizations that we want to tell you about, and I'm just going to list a few here. Color of Change, the NAACP Legal Defense Fund, Campaign Zero, Black Lives Matter, and the National Bail Fund Network. Thanks. See you tomorrow.